feel too professional when I have a microphone, but to be totally honest, I just didn't want it clipped on me. So here we are. A major misconception that a lot of people have is that you need to announce everything that you're doing. Every time you walk into the room, they need to know, hey, I'm building this, or this is a part of my business that you need to know about, and sell in a very, very kind of wishy-washy way instead of having a strategic plan around it. Here's a fun fact. You don't actually need to tell everyone about your business and what you're building in the dark. For an example, I scheduled all of my content for the last 7 days last week and then came to Wales. No one knows that I'm here. And the whole of social media is under the assumption that I'm still down south, I'm still working away, I'm going on photo shoots, and I'm documenting it all on my social media. That's what I mean by not everyone needs to know what you're doing. It's actually a good thing for you to be able to keep some things to yourself. You can go down the toxic route of being like, you keep it to yourself because people might steal it, or, someone's going to have an opinion about it, or what if it doesn't work? Because once you've put it into the atmosphere, you've got to do it right. I honestly think that there's just a lot of things about business that does not need to be publicly shouted about. It's not a negative connotation, I guess, onto that. It's just more, you kind of can keep some things to yourself. Your business isn't going to suddenly explode just because you're putting it all on social media, unless it is a strategic plan. Unless you've actually decided, hey, I'm going to document this thing for everyone else to see. For an example, I did it for prep season back in 2023. It wasn't something that got major traction and, made me a bunch of money, but it did deepen the trust value of a lot of my audience at that time, and in part kind of helped scale my business in one way or another. But that was a strategic plan. I thought it out, funnily enough. I put the plan together. I knew it was going to be every single week. I kind of preempted what was going to happen every single week for me to be able to document it. Even though I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, I knew that probably about 8 weeks in, or 8 weeks out, from the show, I'm probably not going to feel great or anything like that. So it was more of an authentic view into someone who was still having a full-time job, trying to do a bodybuilding show, trying to also do social media, and also building a business, because that's a very smart thing to do. And another thing I don't think a lot of people get when you consistently show your life on social media without a plan is that you're kind of looking for validation. You're looking for someone to turn around and just be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Or, oh my God, this is going to work out really, really well. And you're looking for external validation instead of just doing the work anyway. A very harsh reality, I guess, would be around business is that no one actually cares to an extent. And I'm trying to mean that in not a negative manner. But if your business fails, the people who cheered and shouted and everything for you at the beginning probably won't care that much about it because they have no personal effect to it. You decided to take the risk. You opened up a business yourself and now it's hard. You can't expect anyone else to kind of lug that weight with you. It's great to have a consistent support system that's helping you out along the way, but you still need to go in with a pinch of salt that not everyone who is cheering for you actually cares. I also like the fact that being able to build a business more in private and be able to deal with a lot of things in private actually means that your failures aren't seen publicly. Again, this is a more like you're thinking 3 years ago with me, navigating debt, navigating some things like that. I didn't publicly talk about it at the time, but then I went back and revisited it in, again, another docuseries sort of way. And no one would have known at that time that I was going through those certain things because it actually made it easier. I knew what was going on, but I kind of had to deal with it myself. And I didn't really want to put that on the internet and just be like, hey, look, this amazing life that you probably see and think and you might be inspired by is actually not that great, especially at that time. And that's why now I'm a bit more realistic with the way that I present things on the internet instead of making it all wishy-washy, wins all around the place. It's more just authentic. I think it's because now I've moved into more of a space where I kind of have a closer connection with my audience. I like to find out what people are going through. There was someone this week who I posted out a free piece of content, very similar to this. He listened to it, he implemented it, and then I think in June alone, he collected nearly an extra £2,000 on top of his day salary by just implementing what I was talking about. That's what I like, and that's what I'm happy to share publicly. There is a difference if you get to see behind the curtains. That's more because I'd like to navigate that space more in the sense of what's best for the business, not what's best for my ego or best for social media. I think as well, a lot of the time what people do is when they put it into the social media atmosphere, they kind of expect people to keep chugging them along. So you've decided to make this decision, whatever it is, a new business, new plan, whatever, and then you expect people to kind of keep you accountable for it instead of just staying accountable yourself. There's a lot of work within business that a lot of people don't want to talk about because it's boring, or it is hard work, or it's a lot of numbers and data, which, it's fine for me, but some people don't like it. And you're, again, as I said before, you're looking for that external validation, for someone to turn around and be like, oh, you're doing such a great job every single day. And I don't know, but for me, why don't you just say that to yourself? Again, it's one of those things. It's kind of like, in a very harsh reality way, no one asked you to do this, so you decided to do it yourself. So that's why for me, sometimes I make decisions and I navigate spaces and I have concepts that are working behind the scenes that no one knows about. It's why, for an example, doing things like this today is funny, because I feel like a secret agent, a little secret agent that's just disappeared for a week and everyone thinks that I'm somewhere else. But I'm not. And that's been able to show me a lot of, I can kind of keep working on my own things. A lot of people don't need to know what I'm going on about or doing. And it also kind of makes the reveal a little bit sweeter. So like when concepts and theories or strategic movements come into fruition, I like the reveal of it. I like being able to be like, this is 6 months in the making. You've probably heard it before if you watch Emergely or if you do anything like that. There's like concepts that I've been working on and then they finally happen and people are like, oh, this is incredible. Like, this must have taken so much work. And I'm like, yeah, like 6 months. Like, I think it was, which one was it? It's the new versions of the t-shirts. We wanted to do an entirely new design. I say we, like there's more than just me. We wanted to do a new concept of the t-shirt because I felt like it had got to that point where the designs had started to get too sporadic. So a lot of them were very different from the other one, and some were big graphics on the back, small graphics on the front, all this sort of stuff, and there was no like consistency to it. So I wanted to bring it all back in alignment. Now I didn't want to do it all at the same time. One, because financially that's a huge commitment, and two, because I didn't have the brain space to design all of these things. So I took my time. I actually hired a designer in to help me do it as well. And we've done 4, and now we've got 2 more coming, hopefully in the next month. They are on their way. And when I was going through that, this was an idea that was made like last summer, and we released them at the beginning of this year. It's a lot of people won't see that journey. They won't be able to go through that journey with you. So I guess my kind of piece of advice, if you are the sort of person that, you feel like you have to post on social media all the time about everything that you're doing, even if it's step 1 or step 7, I would think about the overall objective of what you're trying to get from that. Allowing people into your space, into your life, into your business is absolutely fine. You can do that if that's what you want to do. But what kind of allows business to flourish better is if you have a plan behind it. And I don't think that plan needs to go on the internet all the time. The outcome of the plan can. So if you're doing like a countdown timer, a launch program, this is something that I've worked with a lot of clients recently. Ironically, I'm very good at launches with clothing. So being able to move that into a different service space has worked really well for me. And, you don't need to tell someone straight away that you're doing it. There's been plans that I've made, with deadlines, dates, everything like that. And we've literally worked in the background with it for 2 weeks, before it's even teased online, before anyone even knows about it. And it's just allowed the process to run smoother, because sometimes, and I am subject to it, I think and I speak way too close together, instead of actually thinking about what I want to say and how I want it to be portrayed and then saying it. Sometimes my mind does not stop my mouth from moving, and it's just the way that I am sometimes, and I just have to take a step back and then actually think about what I'm trying to achieve with what I'm trying to say. So if any of that resonated with you, that's really cool. But, I'm really bad with all these shameless plugs and everything about liking, comments, subscribes and saves and stuff. So if you did like it, thanks. If you want to continue the conversation, you can follow it up on Instagram at Emily E. Topping. Happy to have a chat, bit of a chat box. So yeah, let me know if you've ever built something in silence and then people are so shocked when you bring it into the forefront of everyone's mind. And have a great day.